Hello guys, welcome to my new video on this channel. Today I'm going to play Obby, and because it's Christmas coming, I said let's tell you some Christmas scary stories. So let's go on video. I hope you will enjoy it. And this is not my stories, and sorry for my English. Let's go. Black figure. Once, my friend Charlotte and I were riding our bikes along our street. We slowly stopped enjoying it, and Charlotte accompanied me home. That's when we both saw a black figure on a hill by the side of the road. The sun was already setting, but we saw the figure holding knife hands. We panicked and ran to our house. There we climbed down a bit, but only until Charlotte had to go home. The figure was still there. It even moved in front of our house. Suddenly, a neighbor walked by our house, and that saved us because the figure disappeared, and Charlotte could go home in peace. Summoning the spirit. It happened about a month ago when we slept at our friend Elizabeth's place. In the evening, her parents went to a ball, and we were left with the whole bear. So we decided that I would summon spirits, specifically Blood Mary. Elizabeth's parents have old furniture at home and an old mirror among them. Elizabeth turned to the mirror, and there she saw a figure with blood coming from her nose. After 3 minutes, our noses began to blood too. I ran home with my friend Emily because I live nearby, and, and Emily slept at my place. We couldn't sleep at all the night. We finally succumbed. The next day, Elizabeth's father called us to say that Elizabeth had bled and her mother had a mental breakdown. We still don't know what specifically why it happened. Nightmares wake us up. Nightmares wake us up at night, and we don't understand why she died. A mysterious chapel. A few months ago, I went to the rookery with a friend, where there is an old chapel. We were still wondering what was inside. So when we discovered a written board, we kicked it out and climbed inside. We couldn't believe what we saw. There was a priest standing behind the altar. We got really scared and ran outside. After about 2 hours of history, we learned that about 3 years ago the man was fatally stabbed there by a chapel robber. Ghost come. It was about a year ago. We were summoning spirits from a friend. We didn't even know who. We just keep saying, "Spirit come." We were in his room, that friend's place, and suddenly the toilet paper started to move. It started flying everywhere. The candle turned over and went out. We started to scream. We quickly climbed out of the chamber and opened the window, and everything was back to normal, but it was terrible. Kenny. Once I went with my friend to do some town pilgrimage and with my dog. When we arrived at the place, no one was there. After a few minutes of my dog playing by the stone, someone threw a stone at him. My friend and I went there, but no one was there. But someone threw a stick at the dog again, and so we took a corner. When we turned around, we had a strange feeling that someone was following us. The railway crossing started to flash, and all the dogs were walking around. They let us down. It's strange, even for us, but what happened. Mysterious typing. I live on the edge of the forest. Once I was alone at home, and there was a full moon. In order not to be afraid and to come up with the other thoughts, I turned on the internet. But suddenly I had the feeling that someone was knocking on the door. I was terribly frightened, but I overcame the fear and she went to see if someone was really standing behind them. No, one was there. No one was there. So I thought to myself that it was probably just a dream, and I started browsing the internet again. It rang about 5 more times. I read all my courage and went out to look in the garden, but I didn't see anyone. I only heard footsteps, so I ran back home, quickly locked the door behind me, and hid under the doorway. I didn't wake up until morning. To this day, I don't know who or what it was, but when I'm alone at home, I'm quite scared. Summoning Santa. Once my friend and I went on a vacation to my grandmother's cottage. When we arrived at the place, it was around 8 in the evening. While we were unpacking our things, we thought that we could summon Santa at midnight. At first, we were joking about it, but then we said that if he is among us, let him give us a sign. After a few seconds, the wind started blowing strongly and it rained like a watering can, and outside the window we saw a shadow that looked at us with red eyes. We got crazy scared and started screaming so loudly that we woke up even our grandmother. Since then, we don't summon ghosts anymore, and we don't summon Santa at all. The Wall Prizer. Once we went to a camp with a class, kind of like school in nature, but differently better, and we could do whatever we wanted all day. We were there for the second time, but this time my best friend was also there. Then someone started painting us and bracing the walls. My friend and I named him um, Ichtail and painted him, of course, an imaginary likeness of us on the wall of the cabin. It was actually a cari- cra- caricature. Once we had a campfire there, and absolutely everyone was at the campfire. Then someone in the dark behind us started shining a flashing flashlight. Suddenly, nobody wanted to be away from the fire. I started with my friend, but she wouldn't go. After the campfire, there was no more light, and in the morning we found out that signs they did not add to the wall. Summoning ghosts. In February 21st, I went to my friend Claire. We agreed that we would invoke the spirit of the German goddess. Everything devolved as it should, and the question came with you heard us. She said yes. We asked if she would appear to us, and suddenly, no face showed up on the television. Was it her? Probably yes. Then she appeared on the cool bottles and I didn't know what to do. Suddenly, our magic stone started to move and he wrote, 7 years after the death of the Bara, would the Bara be wild? It was time to call off the goddess, and so we called her off at 4:14 a.m. Her granddad strongly. We were both afraid of what would happen next. In the morning, when went to school, he called us by himself, elevator. Since then, we are waiting for what will come next, and we advise you not to summon ghosts. Terrible night. It happened 3 years ago. It was a hot summer night. I was sleeping uncovered in the room of my daughter, who was 6 years old, and suddenly I heard the cracking parterre floors. I thought my daughter got up and wanted to pee. When she wakes up like this at night, she is confused and might even pee on the ground. So I call her, Adele, do you want to pee? And it was quiet. So I call again and look toward her bed, and even in the darkness, I see that she is sleeping peacefully, but the parrot floors continue to crack. And now it gets weird. I'm just pointing out that I had a very light sleep and that I didn't really sleep, which I remind me myself until the morning so that I wouldn't forget what happened and take it as a dream. So, because the paved floors were still cracking, I wanted to turn on the lamp above me and check on my daughter. I reached out and finally couldn't move at all, not even a two. It scared me terribly. I didn't know what was happening to my daughter. Took some time. I tried to move, raise my head. It hurt terribly, and nothing. Like someone was holding me. Like he didn't want me to turn on the light. Then it allowed. I was terribly cold, even though I was hot outside, but even though I was cold, I didn't have cold body. I was terrified of it until the morning, and I was terribly afraid. I'm neither a hysteric nor a believer. I'm more of a realist, so I try to find the cues. I even thought I might have died for a moment. I didn't tell anyone. They wouldn't believe anyway. But about a year ago, when I got together with my sister and we talked, she explained to me what happened to her about 2 years ago in the summer, and that I wouldn't believe her. The same thing, only with the difference that she slept next to her son on the double bed. Uncomfortably, neither of us remembered the exact date. Whatever it was, the same day by chance. Okay, guys, this is the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed and see you in the next video. Bye.